It's on.
That good red light.
Yeah.
AllBall TV. You already know the motto. They scared, but I'm not. Yeah.
We are in the building.
Yeah.
Sir.
Big shout out to my brother Dom, man. Listen.
Big shout out to Dom.
Yeah, Dom doing big things. He coaches some NBA championship games, man.
Catch Dom on the sidelines, y'all.
That's right.
In LA.
Fabian perspective, respect is so accepting. That is AllBall to my left. You're right.
Y'all know the
deal. It's Flea. Underneath us is Flea.
Oh, look, they hating on the
Big Flea.
That was nasty. Flea, you just hated it and it cut off.
I did.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. I don't even got. Did I have to go through a trial run? Do I got the juice yet? I don't got.
They don't respect you.
You ain't got the juice.
Yeah, I ain't got the juice.
They don't respect me.
They don't respect you at all.
Nah.
The balloons. Look, see?
You got all pomp and circumstance. You got everything.
Nothing. They don't respect me at all. So don't,
at all.
Worry.
Let's go. It's a light skin thing. Sorry, brothers.
No hat today. No shades. You letting the hair flourish. Okay, I can dig it.
Only because it's not. If Knicks rehab is when we got to cover up and get into the cave. That's how I felt when you changed the game and brought the shades. It was like it was game over. After that, it was like, oh, when we hit the man cave, you got to do it correct.
Yeah.
When them Cubs come out, it's gonna be over.
I don't like how I'm on the screen with two niggas with curly hair. Shit pissing me off right now, but it's all good. I love my brothers. But it's crazy right now.
That was nuts.
Telling you.
Now, what's good, man? Let's what's the topics we talking about tonight, Fabian?
I mean,
we got going on tonight.
We got the Celtics and the bum clutch Tatum, Flea's favorite player in the NBA.
It's not.
We have the Bucks for real. We also have OKC, Minnesota. Are they legit?
Looking funny
and of course, remember the Polaroids? You too young for that, Flea? You get the.
Don't be disrespectful now. Don't be disrespectful.
Oh, I'm gonna tell you. Oh, shout out to Visionary. Visionaries.
No, I saw it.
He sent me a DM that said, "Yo, is this Flea's pops?" Answering my story about Chilltown from Place Choice. And I always say Flea reminds me of him.
Yo, that shit had me crying.
Crazy.
Yo, dial us up, man. What we got first on the docket?
I was gonna go with this damn statue. Listen, I'm not gonna lie to you. Listen, I'm gonna keep it real right now. These people that they have from a foreign agency, they have First Take dialed up on some craziness, but we're gonna use them because we have to. But this is if you can see it, Flea, boom.
I can see it.
Zoom in. We ain't hear what we got to say. This is the top 5 list of NBA players that deserve a statue. And this is according to Big Queen's brethren, Stephen Alfred Smith. Is that his middle name?
What does that A stand for?
I call him Alfred, like Batman's Alfred. I don't know what
I think it's Anthony.
Okay.
I think. I could be dead wrong, so don't quote me.
Okay, so to round it out, top 5 players in the NBA that deserve a statue. Number 5 is Giannis. Number 4 is Clay and Draymond. Number 3 is LeBron for the Miami Heat. Number 2 is LeBron again for the Cleveland Cavaliers. And number 1 is Steph Curry.
Yo,
any commentary about this?
Yo, here's me the first take. They running out of content, bro.
Yo, the producers are like scrambling. They be scrambling for something to hold on to right now, because to have a topic about statues, like, okay, we'll talk about it too. Like, that list is okay. I'm not impressed with the list, right? Like, statue in Miami for LeBron, no. Statue in Miami in Cleveland, yeah. I roll with that.
Okay,
I roll with that 100%. A statue for Curry, Clay, and Draymond, I don't know if I'm completely mad at that either.
That's fly.
I don't know if I'm completely mad at that, OG.
That's fly.
For those three guys, for that organization, I think that's solid. Giannis, eventually. Not right now. Eventually. Obviously, you're not going to get a statue until you retire. But, now that I'm thinking about the list, it's not awful. I think there's one guy for me that I think deserves a statue that he didn't bring up. And you brought him up earlier in your conversation with your guy Jordan. Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan absolutely deserves a statue in the front of the Alamo, not even where they play. That motherfucker needs to be in front of the Alamo, right? Like Tim Duncan is the San Antonio Spurs, is San Antonio. So for me, that would be the only guy that I think like needs a statue immediately. Like you gotta have a statue for Duncan. The rest of the list, I'm not completely mad at it. I don't really like the statue in Miami for LeBron. I think there should be one statue and one statue only in Miami, and that's for Dwayne Wade. That's it. Like he is the Heat. That's it. Everything else, it's a decent list.
You know me, it's comical to me, man, because Stephen A. now with First Take, when I catch it here and there, that like he got his little thing now. That's his little segment where he got his Stephen A.'s top 5 lists or whatever, right?
Right.
For me, I'm against statues. I'm being honest. I don't think nobody deserves a statue. Just my opinion. Right. I don't like what it represents. Just being honest.
Tell me more, OG. What does it represent? What do you feel like it represents?
I really don't know, because my thing is this. Okay. Now, I may can understand a player like LeBron actually growing up in Cleveland, right?
Sorry. I'm sorry.
I know.
I'm reading the comments. I'm sorry.
Oh.
You niggas is buggy.
Actually growing up in Cleveland, LeBron built a school in Cleveland. Mm-hmm. The amount of business that was there that generated money for that city, that town while he was there. I get it from that aspect. But no disrespect. I'll give you an example. Shaquille O'Neal, what did you do for the city of Los Angeles to deserve a statue? I think statues is just too much praising of a human being. I don't like them. I'm being honest with you. But I don't want to get too political and too, off the rails. I think Giannis doesn't deserve a statue. How many rings you got to have to win to get a statue? You was right. LeBron for Miami, no. That should have been D Wade. Curry, I don't know, because my thing is this. Does Kawhi Leonard deserve a statue? If Giannis deserves one?
I don't think so.
No, but why not?
Because we got to think about this. Like we're talking about impact. We're talking about bringing something to an organization that they've been devoid of for 50 years, right? Milwaukee didn't win a championship since Kareem was there and Oscar. So, you know what I mean? Like, you didn't see it. Fabian didn't see it. I didn't see it. So, like, you know what I mean? Like that, when they won that championship, that is so long ago. That's even before, so I think if we weigh in it, just for what you're saying, OG, if we weigh in Giannis or Kawhi, who deserves it more?
Stay there. Forget that.
Right.
Kawhi or Joker, who deserves a statue? I mean, I'm sorry, Giannis or the Joker?
Oh.
It's tough. That's tough. I would still say Giannis right now. And the only reason I say that is because it's a preference for me. It's not a knock on Joker. It's just that Giannis is a guy like I remember that clip, and y'all probably remember the clip. Giannis is like on the bottom box, and he's about to box out for a free throw. And he turns around, and Quincy AC is on the bench. And Quincy AC like yells at him. He's on the bench. He yells at Giannis, and he's like, "Yo, how old are you?" And Giannis tells him some shit like 21. It was early in his career.
Right.
My point is, we was able to like watch Giannis mature, his game, his approach to the game, how much he loves the game. Like that, wearing your emotions on your sleeve and embodying a city. Like Giannis gives me that feel. So bringing the championship to that city, you know, not running out when you had the opportunity to run out, re-signing, you know, all that kind of stuff, you know, makes me feel like if anybody deserves a statue, you know, it would be Giannis. That's not to say what Joker has done for the Nuggets is, you know, shouldn't be commended, but you know, I don't even think Joker even loves basketball as much as he loves everything else he has in his life.
Right.
A means to an end. He enjoys it. You know, I don't know how much he loves it. You know, I can't question that, but I'm just telling you what I'm seeing. So if you asking me which one, I would roll with Giannis.
Okay. I just, you know, before I let Fabian go, I just need to know what should be the criteria for having a statue. Because my thing is, you know, if you're not a pillar in a community, if you're not doing things for the city, embodying what that city is, I don't think you deserve a statue. Just like, I think, does Shaq have a statue in Orlando?
No.
He just got one, right? Got his jersey retired.
He got his jersey retired, right.
But he has a statue for LA.
Right. So I get it, the three-peat and all that stuff, but, you know, I just think the statue thing is out of control. I think Barkley got one. Dominique Wilkins got one. Like, come on, man.
Really?
Yeah, Dominique Wilkins got a statue in Atlanta.
Fabian, let me ask you a question. With Two's criteria, like forget so much basketball right now, right? With what he's saying, how you impact the community, things that you're doing to give back to the city that you play in, you know, or whatever. I was privy to it, but like I did a little bit of research and I'm realizing how much he does. Russell Westbrook does so much for the city of Los Angeles. It's unbelievable.
I hear
how much this dude does for the city. And I'm not even going to attempt to tell y'all how many things I saw when I was doing research, but obviously car dealerships. I think I even seen like a school. He's opened up a school, right? Like it's so many grocery stores. It's so many different things he's doing to give back to the community. Obviously, it's not a champion, but what is your criteria of what a guy needs to do to be recognized and deserve a statue from, you know, whatever team he's played for?
I think we've been talking about branding a lot, too. And when you think of a player, if you think of that team, I think that's the first thing. That's like, maybe that sounds too cheesy or easy of an answer, but you think of Jordan, I think of the Bulls way before the Wizards, and same thing with Jerry West, Kobe. You know, that's a start. If I'm not mistaken, does Kyle Lowry have a statue already, or in Toronto? Or they love him that much?
Don't do that. Don't say that. Don't say that.
Wait. That's not. I'm not even being funny. Like Kyle Lowry.
No. He doesn't. We're just gonna leave that there. He doesn't.
Okay, but it was.
Now you got me curious. Can you please look up to make sure he does not?
But two, there's no active player right now that has a statue.
Okay. No,
I don't believe.
We just need to make sure, because if Kyle,
I don't think that.
Listen, hold on.
We gotta make sure.
I'm telling you right now, if Kyle Lowry got a statue, I deserve a statue. I'm just saying.
In Harlem? Where? The Kingdom? Where's it at? Where you need it? The Polo Ground? Where you need it at? Oh shit.
Listen, I need that shit on my block. If Kyle Lowry got a statue, I need a statue.
Oh man.
Lord have.
No.
What's that?
Nah, you wildin'.
What is that?
Who is that?
It's Kyle Lowry.
No, it's not, man. Stop playing,
Yes,
man.
Look what it says on the bottom, OG. Yo,
I can't see. Now, y'all, listen.
This is Kyle Lowry.
Nah.
Somebody put that there.
But yeah, that's a fact. Yeah, nah.
They willed it on there with the thing. That's a disrespectful statue.
Yo, that hold on. The nigga said that's Kyle Lowry the boxer. That person like they in a boxing stage.
But why he got his hands up?
Because that's another Kyle Lowry. That's who he fought Sugar Ray Robinson back in the days or something.
Bro, Kyle from Philly though. So Kyle from Philly.
Nah.
Boxing.
Rocky. No, Flea. Rocky's statue is bigger than Kyle Lowry's. If listen, if you're gonna give me a statue, you cannot wheel it in on that. On what you call that moving shit again?
A dolly.
On a dolly. You cannot put my statue on a dolly. That is flagrant. This is the most disrespectful accolade I've ever seen in my life. This is a crazy backhanded compliment. What are we talking about right now?
And it looked like they left the dolly right next to the statue.
They did. just so they could move it. OG.
Yo, that's fake. That's fake. Y'all, you playing around. That's not real.
Yo, they got a Kyle Lowry.
Stop. That's not real, Flea. That's not real.
Nah. I want to know, what is that made out of? I want to touch it. Pause. Like, what is that made out of?
That's Legos. Hey, yo, they said Kyle Lowry got a Lego statue. That's Legos.
Yo, that's crazy. They just spray painted it. They did that.
Is that there right now, or is that like somebody played for one day and put that there?
Yo, do you know when that post was, Fabe? When was that post?
100 weeks ago.
So what's that? That's 2 years?
Who says 100 weeks ago? What type of Jimmy Neutron?
That's no.
That's what it says, OG.
He's on Instagram all day long. That's what they do. But this liar.
Only serial killers answer like that. Yo, when that happened?
Allegedly.
3 weeks, 2 days, and 16 hours ago. What?
Damn, Jeffrey Dahmer?
April 3rd, 20.
That's what.
April
52
3rd.
weeks in the year. That's two. So that's 2 years.
Yeah.
Yo, that's
20. April 3rd, 2022.
Is it still up?
Yeah.
Somebody got to run in front of who's the Toronto fan that really rocks with us in the comments? Is that
I got Phoenix Play Z.
Phoenix Play Z.
Is he here still? He was here earlier. He was
here earlier. We gotta ask him, man. Is that real? Like, is that mounted to the ground? Can you move that?
I'm about to take a trip to Toronto just to see if that's real. I'm being honest with you. We
gotta bring it back to the crib. If that's real, we gotta confiscate that. Nah.
You might go to jail forever. You get caught with the Kyle Lowry statue?
With the Kyle Lowry joint? In Canada, you might not make it back to America.
Wow. Kyle. See, and this is why I say, my opinion, I get it. I don't think nobody deserves a statue, man. I'm sorry. That is too much. Yo,
he was
Michael Jordan doesn't deserve a statue too?
Nah. Yo, you see how many statues is around the Lakers joint? It's too much.
Yeah.
It's like, what is it called? It's like Statue Park or so. It's called something where they have, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man.
No disrespect. I'm sorry, Fabian. You can finish, but Flea, to answer your question, I'm just saying, for me, that's what I'm saying. What is the criteria for a statue? Because if it's just winning, then we just gonna be giving statues away. I'm saying, what's the criteria for a statue?
I'm gonna give it back to Fabian, but I think it's got to be a collective. It's got to be a collective. You know what I'm saying? It just can't be winning, right? Like it can't. Like, if that's the like, why doesn't Julius Erving have a statue in Philly? Right?
Yeah.
Right? Like Wilt does.
Yeah.
In Philly? Okay. I mean, all right. But you know what I'm saying? Like, if we thought about guys that won and had impact, like, of course Mike, of course LeBron in Cleveland, Steph Curry, I said Giannis. I wanted to mention Tim Duncan, right? Like, but then why wouldn't the Admiral be eligible for the impact he had before Tim got, like,
yeah, Dirk just got one.
Right. But then now I'm thinking about it. One of my pop's favorite players is Iceman. My pops is from the Bronx. And Iceman is synonymous for an era, right? And he played.
Come on.
There's
a difference.
We're broadening the conversation.
But all right, we're talking about if they deserve one. if they deserve one in that organization.
Kyle
Iceman
statue, man. Kyle Lowry got a statue. Iceman don't deserve
that is not a statue. That is a doll. That's like a Kendall. That is crazy. Nah, come on, man. That's disrespect. I never want to talk about that again. Kyle Lowry, I apologize on behalf of the whole Toronto. Drake needs to come see you and just.
I'm screenshotting that. And I'm doing a post about that tomorrow. The Kyle Lowry statue.
You have to, OG. That's nasty. That's disgusting. No.
Because I remember when he got traded to Miami, and they said he had a statue. Because I'm like, a statue, and they was like, you don't know what he means to Toronto. I'm like, he must be.
That's all you could do is laugh at this shit. I'm sorry, like Kyle. We love you, Kyle.
You telling me they had his statue in a box and unboxed it?
Unboxed it. You know them little balls they had to throw. They had to throw the white shit out.
Yeah, come on. Man. Big shout out Kyle Lowry, man. You got a statue, bro. I respect it.
They had Kyle Lowry statue in a trophy case, man. Yo, listen, you guys are. This is not okay. I think if he's not the standard though for a statue, and that's the problem. Not only are we laughing at the fact that you got one, the one they gave you was ridiculous. That was insane. That was mad disrespectful. Like, imagine Tim Duncan getting a statue like that. We would
go crazy.
Yeah.
So hold on. We can move on. We can move on from this in a second, but I gotta ask my guys this real fast. The same criteria. Now I know you against statues, OG, but just for the sake, right? We talking about right? Statues. Is the criteria the same for getting your jersey retired? How do we feel about statues? Correspond. Yo, Chip, let me get it.
Read the comment.
Yo, Alan Kent, that's funny as hell.
Yo, come on, man.
That's funny as hell. Yo.
Go ahead, like, I'm sorry, that comment just threw me off.
Yo, that's funny, yo. Come on. You could take that here. Shorty, take that home.
Come on, man. Kyle Lowry statue is a sex doll.
Yo. Yeah, we did a lot of laughing in the first 20 minutes of this show. This is insane. No, I'm asking though. Is the criteria, whatever your criteria is for a statue, is it the same to get your jersey retired?
I think for you to get your jersey retired, you have to do a lot. Like, you know, yeah. The criteria should be high for you to get your jersey retired. Yes. Because my thing is this, you can't remember, man, certain things supposed to be sacred, supposed to be super legendary. We can't just have everybody with their jerseys retired, everybody getting a statue. It's just like, no disrespect. Why did Dirk Nowitzki get a statue? He won one ring. I don't care that you played there 20-something years. I'm sorry.
That's it right there, though.
No,
that's it right there, OG.
Listen, I'm just saying, a statue, bro. Why Dominique Wilkins got a statue?
Because
if the man in Atlanta,
right? Because if you went, OG, you've been on vacations. If you went to the Bahamas on vacation and was talking to the bartender that you asked for a drink from, and you ask him, yo, who's the most popular Atlanta Hawk you know? He might say Dominique Wilkins, right? Like, depending on the age.
Trey Young, man.
Depending on the age.
Right.
He'll probably say Dominique before Trey. All I'm saying is that some of these guys are just synonymous with the team, like Fabian was saying. Like, you think about Chicago Bulls, the first name you think of is Michael Jordan. First name.
Right.
You think about, I mean, that might be the only team.
No, stay there. Hold on real quick. See, who's the first player you think of when you think of the Atlanta Hawks?
Me?
Yes.
Nick.
Fabian.
Yeah, it's Damo. It's Dominique.
Nick.
Okay.
That's the first person. I mean, maybe because I'm a kid, and maybe today, as we talk about basketball, we are in a conversation. But if we're during this conversation, because we're talking about all time and stuff, he comes to mind. I know he had a statue, and the way Jalen Rose talks about Dominique in Atlanta, the way other players talk about Dominique in Atlanta is a bit different, bro. It ain't never like Kyle Lowry. He got a different kind of respect in the streets. in the club.
From your favorites. I've seen Larry Bird.
Legendary.
I've seen Larry Bird gush over Dominique Wilkins, and you know Bird don't hand out too much praise to other cats. He be gushing over.
No, but you're talking about like some basketball respect. Nah, they were talking about when it was time to go time. Forget during the game, after the game. That's why part of the reason why he was so popular. That like, hold on. So I'm gonna throw the question back at you because we speaking of nightlife. Does AI deserve a statue in Philadelphia?
You're asking Flea?
I'm throwing it out there.
You go first, OG.
I mean, I'm gonna be, be brief. If Dominique gets one, yes, Allen Iverson deserves a statue, and that's my point. When certain people's got a statue, other people they make it too easy to get a statue. I'm sorry. I think what AI means to Philly is much more than what Dominique means to Atlanta.
Wow. Yeah. I like that. I like what you just said.
Yeah.
I like what you just said. Allen, but Allen means so much to the culture, right? And I know everybody is starting to dislike that word, right? The culture, right? Because everybody, it gets so overused, but it's so relevant with certain guys. And when we talk about Chuck, when we talk about Allen Iverson, culture, first word that comes to mind, and how impactful he was for the culture and for just the game of basketball itself, right? Just how you approach the game, how you wanted to look going to the game, how you wanted to be during the game, how you wanted to be when you sat on the bench, down to how he talked to Larry Brown, right? Like all of that encompassed is like, I would roll with Allen having a statue over Dominique. And I understand why Dominique has one, but I feel you. I would roll with that. I would be more than happy if Philly, rolled out a statue for Allen Iverson.
Well, I know before we get to the next topic, I'm being honest, late to death. I don't understand why Dominique has a statue. I'm sorry. Big shout out to him, legendary. That don't take away his legendariness and what he meant to the game and on the court and playing for the Hawks, but I don't know why he got a statue. I'm sorry.
I get it, because I think the original point is I agree with that. A statue is like, if the world is gonna change 1,000 years from now, they go through the rubble when they see a guy like there's a statue, a broken statue, they put it together like, what the hell is this? And it's Kyle Lowry.
Nah. And Kyle, you will see this one day. You will see this.
Oh man,
we love you, big dog. But nah. That's all I got now. I ain't got nothing else. Nah, that ain't it. Let's move on.
So speaking of players that are going to be in this conversation for statues, well, did you want to go? What you want to do? Milwaukee next or Boston? I ain't even know what you want to do. I want to go with Boston. Crazy.
Well, let's talk about
right there. Let's rock.
So speaking of players that we think will be in this conversation 20 years from now, despite what you may think, Flea, about my opinion about this guy, Jason Tatum. Boston Celtics, they just took their first L in like 15 games, but a lot of people feel like they've been exposed and they've been just hampering the same way that they've been hampering, blowing leads, pause, end of the game. They're not crunched. They're not clutch. And I did want to get into this video real quick because my guy AM Hoops, I like this guy, man. He used to be on the sideline and everything.
Yo, man, stop shouting out all these random niggas on our show, man. Go ahead. Stop shouting out.
Hopefully they shout us out soon.
All right. Well, until then.
Jesus, yo, Flea is mad competitive, man.
Pull it up. Yeah, man. This is Hoops, man. Is that Tyler Hero meth? What's wrong?
Oh my God.
So everyone predicted big things in their future. But despite making 3 more conference finals and 1 finals, something always happens. You could say it's youth. Tatum just turned 26 years old. Or it could be the one problem they have always had. In 2020, the C's led every fourth quarter of the East Finals, but their crunch time offense was so bad, the Heat always came back and won in 6. They overcame a first-round exit to make the finals in 2022, but in Game 6, Jason Tatum, guarded by Andrew Wiggins, forced into a late turnover. Followed that up with a missed shot against Steph Curry. Tatum ended that series with 100 turnovers, the most by any player in playoff history. That's okay, he's still young. But last season, Tatum had costly turnovers again. Their crunch time offense was awful. That is why this recent loss by the new look Celtics is a problem. The Cavaliers, without Donovan Mitchell, came back from down 22 in the fourth quarter, and the C's last shot, Jason Tatum with a wild brick jumper. A foul was called that was later rescinded by the league, but dude dribbled 19 times for a pull-up J. I mean, forget all the off-season additions and the historic offense. Their best idea is a dribble-up Tatum ISO. How many times do we have to see this? I'm not saying he's not clutch, but can the offense get creative? The C's had 2 timeouts, by the way. Joe Mazzulla could have drawn up a play to win, but no. That's what really concerns Celtic fans. Oh, they can blow out teams, no problem. But how do they look in close, tough games? Because that's what the playoffs are all about. Other teams have a rock-solid answer in crunch time. The Milwaukee Bucks will go to Big Game Dame, who has made a ton of clutch shots. Right. The Nuggets have an...
Oh, wait, hold on. This is the one I want you to see.
Number 1 team in the league. How does that look? Tatum took 5 of those shots and is 0-5. Think of all the other teams that will have the best player on the floor. The Bucks, the Sixers, the Nuggets.
So he's 0-5 in these crunch time situations, these crunch time shots. I didn't have the stat book next to me, but I told you every time I see him in crunch time, he looks bad, and he's always missing, always messing up. Same thing with Ant-Man. I'm saying the same thing about Ant-Man.
I don't want to curse you out live. So
you
stop
should.
Bringing up Ant-Man when you talk about Jason Tatum.
I'm bringing up 2 guys who are top 10 easily. And if they're not top 10, I've heard Dom earlier say something like, shout out to Dom. Somebody said that people are saying that LeBron is better than Tatum. So I said, I would never say something like that. There's no way I'd rather have LeBron right now than Jason Tatum. But him and Ant-Man have the same issue. Where's your go-to move when it matters? Period.
Hold on. See, don't play that game. Right now, you replace Tatum with LeBron James. The Boston Celtics not winning the championship?
He has to be mighty healthy, bro. LeBron will have that's an old man, bro.
I'm just asking the simple yes or no, my brother.
That's a stretch, but
See, you cherry picked that video because you felt like it hitched this wagon with you, and now you and Tyler Hero on meth, y'all are riding through the streets together, right? Like, cut it out. Let's put this in perspective, man. We do a great job of putting high expectations on these guys and not allow them to grow, right? The world we live in right now in the basketball community, that's what we do. But we didn't do that to none of your favorite players as a kid, OG. And damn sure didn't do it to none of my favorite players as a kid. We just didn't do that. We enjoyed watching these guys fail and then come back and really step to the next level. So, I mean, shake your head all you want. I don't care. I'm telling you. Huh?
That's true. They called Magic Johnson Tragic Johnson. That was before I was even born. That's true.
And then what happened?
He had to show improve, but he had to show improve.
We watched Bean shoot air balls.
No,
we watched your favorite player get beat up by Isaiah Thomas. Like we watched a lot of guys go through struggles, and once they got there, it's lit. You can't stop me now. So if we're gonna critique Jason Tatum in his first 7 years and call him not clutch, okay, that's fine. I'm not gonna argue with you with that, but I'm not going to talk about him like he's garbage, like he's not good. And that's where it gets confusing for me, because not saying y'all don't understand, but I'm just saying, coming from a perspective of being on the floor and understanding what goes into that type of shit, I'm not going to call a dude trash or talk about him like he's not good when he's the sole reason why we even talk about the Boston Celtics. Brown is great.
He's the sole reason?
Brown is great. Holiday is good. Porzingis is great. But pluck Tatum off that team. How good is that team?
They'll be pretty damn good still.
How good?
Without him.
How good?
They'll be a playoff team without him.
Number 1 seed good? 11-game win streak good?
No, of course
NBA
not.
Finals good?
Of course not. But
so then what are we talking about?
But you're being disingenuous, as you like to say.
Nah.
Because LeBron went through the same exact thing, if not 100 times worse. It's not even close. Kobe went through the same exact thing. 3 air balls, 100 times worse.
We remember.
Michael Jordan, who everything, this is all centered around him, allegedly. Went through the same exact thing. You'll never win that way. You're just a scorer. That's what they said about him. You don't play defense. You don't pass the ball. He went through all that stuff. You make hundreds of millions of dollars for this very reason. It's public consumption. We're not saying you're trash. Who the hell is saying Jason Tatum is trash? Whoever's saying that, we can't have a conversation. I would never like to speak to you about anything in life, probably because you're ridiculous about whatever it is. But when it comes to this, I've been saying it, and he just had the stats for it.
But now you're getting comfortable with trying to attach you're not clutch to every player that's not going to show up in the fourth quarter when it matters. You're talking about 22-year-old Anthony Edwards is not clutch in year 4, 5. Like, what are we talking about? What are we talking?
We're talking about not being.
Tell me the player that came in and was clutch from day one. How about that? Do that for me.
Let's see. I'd say Kevin Durant.
You took too long. You took too long.
I say Carmelo was. How much? Why gotta take too long? Carmelo was clutch. What? Like again, you're talking about play. Yeah. See, Carmelo in Denver was amazing. He had game-winning shots and everything.
I can remember all those game winners, right? All those game winners.
You asked me a question, I answered it for you. That's the guy.
I can remember plenty game winners from Jason Tatum. That's my
Larry
point.
Bird. No, you cannot. Not like this. Not like this. You can't.
Put the montage together.
He hit the game-winning layup against the Nets in game 1 in 2 years ago. I saw that. I was there for that, but it wasn't the same thing. It's not. It's more momentum, more the same thing of how LeBron hit a game winner. Because when it comes down to it, when you need to hit a shot in the mid range, for some reason you can't do it. That's not some. I'm not saying he's the worst person in the world. I'm saying that he's not clutch. So what do you think? How are you guys talking to yourselves if you playing ball? You're not real with yourself. You're not gonna say, yo, I perform well. You're gonna be lying to yourself. I perform great in the clutch.
1,000%. But when I watch guys miss layups, when I watch guys turn the ball over, when I watch guys do bonehead things, for me, yeah, I understand it can happen. How the fuck did he miss that layup? Yo, you short-armed it. Yo, you too hard. You put a little too much English on it. Like, whatever. This stuff happens. I'm just saying, for me, I'm giving him a little more grace than you. That's where it's at for me. I'm not saying, okay, you calling him trash. I'm saying I'm going to give him a little more grace for what he's done in the first 6-7 years of his career and not really try to attach, but he's not clutch. Okay, that's cool.
Well, just real quick, I'll jump in this convo. I've been saying this for the past couple of years. As great as Boston looks and as great as they are, to me, I told you, I don't think nobody fears the Boston Celtics, and that's their problem. I don't know if he's not clutch, but let's be honest. In the playoffs, it's a lot of great plays that's not clutch. Is Steph Curry clutch in the playoffs? We've seen him miss shots. We've seen him not hit game winners. We've seen him turn the ball over, get locked down in the playoffs. So for me, it's a lot of players that's great, that's legendary, that's in some people's top 10 greatest all time. That's not clutch in the playoffs. For one, homie, you gotta have that same energy when they was on that winning streak. Don't wait till they lose a game. And we all know those games like that happen. Remember, they was up 20-something, got lazy. That happens. For me, they won 9, I think, to 10, 11 in a row. They are the best team in the NBA by far. They have the most talent in the NBA by far. There's no excuse for them to not go to the finals. There's no excuse for them to not win the finals, barring injury. So I'm not going to say not clutch, and I'm not going to panic for them losing to Cleveland without Donovan Mitchell, because we've seen games like that happen 1,000 times. Former players that tell you certain games we get up for, certain games we don't get up for. That was the purpose of them being up 20-something. But let me say this. I'm going to tell you how clutch Jason Tatum could have been. They was about to come back being down 0-3. If he doesn't get hurt in that game 7 in the first minute or two, they was going to come back and win that game. So I'm not going to say not clutch, but I could tell you this, being a diehard Knicks fan, I don't think teams fear the Boston Celtics. Maybe he's not as aggressive as he should be. I'm not going to say clutch. I think he needs to be more aggressive. I think Jason Tatum needs to be averaging 30 plus. And then I think that's where the clutch will come in at. But I'm not going to – them lose to the Cleveland Cavaliers, being shorthanded without Donovan Mitchell. Nah, I've seen that happen too many times. Like I said, they probably hung out the night before. They probably ain't even game plan for that game. That's the purpose of them being up 20-something, and they happen to come back. But I don't think we should look at that and now all of a sudden be like, oh, man, Boston. Nah, Boston's the best team in the NBA. And barring injury, unless our Knicks become fully healthy, they should walk through the East to the finals, even if they play Milwaukee.
Fabian's been pretty consistent with Jason Tatum not being clutch. So I don't want to attach that loss last night against the Cleveland Cavaliers as now he's jumping on that, because he's been pretty consistent about feeling like Tatum doesn't show up in late game situations. But I think where we do agree is that when you started talking about him being more aggressive, my eyebrows lifted, and so did Fabian's, his eyebrows lifted, because we do agree there. The issue with that dude, in my opinion, is that last year, we saw the best Jason Tatum. Like last season, I think was the best we've seen thus far. We may see something greater as he gets older, but last year I think was the best we've seen. 30 points a game, getting to the line almost close to 9 times, right? That's what I bring up. I'm not gonna bring up his shooting percentages and all that kind of stuff, because he doesn't shoot high shooting percentages. But when that dude punishes you and gets to the line, he's phenomenal. That shot that he took last night, that shot pissed me off because he settles entirely too much. To be 6'10", to have a mismatch damn near every night a smaller guy is usually guarding you. There's no bigger guys that's usually guarding this dude. Every night a smaller guy is guarding you. That night they had Garland guarding you the last play of the game. The dude said he dribbled 19 times and you took a fadeaway from the elbow. I know he's a Kobe disciple. I know he loves Bean, but Bean perfected that, right? When Bean is taking those shots, he perfected that shot. But guess what? 30 to 35 minutes in the game, he's getting you to the mid post and he's going to kill you. Jason Tatum bails the defense out entirely too much. That's really my only critique on him. Like you said, OG, when he becomes more aggressive, when he gets downhill, gets to the rim, gets to the foul line, nobody can stop him. Last point, and I'm going to give it back to Fabian and let him kind of expound on this. He talked about having a go-to move. If Jason Tatum had a move that was, okay, that's the JT, or, whatever you want to call it, right? If he had a move that he could go to where nobody in the universe could stop, Boston could think about winning back-to-back titles, be almost a dynasty type of thing. Those two guys are the only duo I know that does not get held accountable the way other duos are held accountable for coming up short. Those are the only two guys that I know. So I'm going to give it back to Fabian, but
I think that's a great way to put it, because we've been saying it for a while, and I'm surprised too that a month ago. Hold on. Jason Tatum has no more excuses. Luka is up next. Don't get it twisted. Do not get it twisted. I'm getting sick of him. I don't care about your stats no more, bro. And he is clutch. And again, I keep saying that's the reason why people have Luka over Tatum. It has everything to do with crunch time. That's it, because we're fickle. We're fickle like that as people, man. Like, there's no way you could tell me Luka's as talented as Jason Tatum. No way possible. It's
Can
impossible.
Can I ask you a question, Fabian? And two, real quick. I want you to rock. A month and a half ago, we were together in Harlem watching the game. The game that we was watching was Dallas versus Atlanta. That's the night Luka had 70. I don't remember one time one of us, or even Uncle Ice, shout out to Uncle Ice, none of us got up. None of us were excited. None of us, I didn't look at you too. You were sitting across from me. I didn't look at you and was like, yo, this nigga bug. Like, so not downplaying 70, but just piggybacking on what you saying, Fabian. Like, all right, we had enough, Luka. It's time to win now. Like, somebody going to get 70, most times you'll be like, yo, this nigga's bugging. Yo, look what's going on. We did never once said that. Right or wrong, am I lying? Did we?
Nah, but
hold on, just real quick. What I've been saying, what I said last week on the show, I keep telling y'all, he just cares about getting his. Once again, and let me just connect it to Jason Tatum. All these guys settle for too many jump shots. Once again, the NBA, this is what they're making the league. Nobody exposes mismatches. Nobody goes, okay, I'm 6'8", 6'9", he's 6'3". Let me put him on the block and get a high percentage shot. Everybody settles for jump shots. Everybody. And for Jason Tatum to have that skill set in that height, that size, and have that bag, once again, it's very rare that you're going to see any of these guys. They don't even want to get to the free throw line to shoot 2 free throws. Like when the last time you down one on a tie ball game and you try to go to the basket to get contact to where you put the pressure on the refs to where now you at the free throw line. These guys are shooting jump shots.
OG. Great point, OG.
So for me, like I said, my problem with Tatum is, as much as I'm not a big Luka fan like everybody else, averaging 35 is averaging 35. And that's damn near 10 more points than Jason Tatum. So for me, I like Tatum as a player, but what makes it weird is he's not that exciting to watch as he should be. I don't know, man. I don't know, but y'all both made great points. Like I said, it's no excuse. And Fabian, I'm gonna let you go. Right now, it's probably about 10 players that if they don't win a championship, that's a problem. I got Giannis, I got Joker, I got LeBron, I got KD, I got Dame Lillard, I got Luka, I got Jason Tatum and Jay Brent, Kawhi and Paul George, all the top teams. That's what's going to make the playoffs interesting.
Yeah.
Everybody's under pressure. Everybody. Whoever don't win is going to be smoking the city. In the top of the food chain is the Boston Celtics. There's no more excuses. They have everything in place. Everything. Defense, shooting, superstar, budding superstar, which I don't think it is, but to the masses. A great wing defender, great point guard. They got everything. No excuse. No excuse. So Fabian, I've been on that time. I just didn't say it because we was talking about something different, but there's no excuse. They gotta win now. I'm not hearing they're young. I'm not hearing none of that. You gotta win now.
And my thing is, when you brought up Golden State, it was a great point. Steph was in clutch, and guess who was? Klay motherfucking Thompson. Game 6, Klay is real. Like, he didn't have to worry about that. The Warriors had 2 gunners on that team, and when they got Kevin Durant, forget about it. Like, come on now. So my thing is, hey, Tatum, either you're gonna balk on somebody and let them know, hey, Jaylen Brown, go to your damn left, you need to move, or they got to get to a fight like Marcus Smart wanted them to get into, or Tatum, it's all on you. Because like I said again, it's like these are the top 5 guys. They're fringe. Him and Luka are really fringe MVPs. The difference with Luka is he hogs the ball too much for me, and Tatum doesn't hog the ball enough. To your point, too.
Right there.
You know what I mean? Like,
right there.
To your point, I don't care how old you are, because how old was Steph Curry when he won his first title? Steph Curry first title.
I would say
2015.
I would say under it was maybe 26, 7.
He's born in 75.
Hell no. Steph Curry.
80. Oh yeah, born in 88.
Yeah.
That's what, 27.
Yeah.
Mid 20s. So I mean, he was starting. Don't get me wrong. The next 2-3 years, Tatum and Luka are entering their prime. I'm not, but I did this. Flea, if you knew me back then, you would have known I was pissed at LeBron. He was 23 years old, went to the finals against San Antonio. Everybody let him off the hook. 22. They let him off the hook. I was pissed. My daughter was just born 2 months early. I'm watching the game crazy, like, oh, he softened up. We saw Tim Duncan had a poster of LeBron yamming it on him in the regular season.
Right.
Tim Duncan had a poster of that.
He did the Statue of Liberty joint on him. Yeah.
Tim Duncan, we know how Tim Duncan is a psycho really on the low. When he missed that bunny hop and he came back, the way he looked at, the way he talks about DeMarcus Cousins, give me the ball. I'm going to destroy him. LeBron had to learn that. I always compared Tatum to PG, to Paul George and on the Pacers. Who was the Pacers dog? They didn't have nobody there. It was all on Paul George. Hey, I hate to break it to you, but these are the breaks. You are the guy. We're going to compare you to Mike and Kobe and these guys. There's something about them that became, I guess, inhumane and kind of crazy when it counted, when it mattered most. But you got to get a go-to, man. I don't know if it's a go-to move or what, but it's obvious now. Because if he doesn't do it, I don't believe, like, because if he does it, if he gets a go-to move, he starts hitting clutch shots, we're all scared to death. There is no, hey, the Knicks are going to, there's none of that. And to me, the same thing with Ant-Man. If Ant-Man does that, if Ant-Man and Tatum, that's a rivalry. Those are two dynasties. It's over for everybody. Forget everything. Forget everything you ever thought of. Those are two all-around great players who are now clutch. It's over. Forget Joker. Forget, they're going to have super teams all over again. That's how I feel about them. And that's why I'm so harsh on them like that, Flea.
Yeah. And I understand that. I've had to understand why you're so critical of him, because you are so high on him. You realize that he is such a great talent. He is great. You know, it's you know, for lack of a better term, it is a level of expectation that you have for him. When they go into a game like that, they cough up a 22-point lead and you get the ball in your hands and you down one. All three of us expectation is ball goes to Tatum, go win the game for us, right? Nobody on the opposing team can guard you. Go get a bucket. Let's go back to the crib, right? So I do understand it. I'm just, for me, I remember, y'all know, being such a Kobe Bryant fan. Like, I remember loving my Knicks, but really, like, being hurt that he just missed one after the. I was sitting there watching that game against Utah. They put some confidence in him, like, yo, go take these shots. And he confidently missed over and over and over again. Not back rim, not front rim, not in and out, air balls. Like air balls, right? Different time in his life. Obviously, he was way younger. He was still a teenager at the time. But I remember how I felt like, yo, damn, I can't wait for this dude to get right. Once he gets right, like Fabian said, it's over. Once Bean got right, it's over. So Tatum has that talent. I'll leave it with this. And it goes back. Like I said, I love giving y'all credit, you know, when y'all say something that, you know, it ages well. AllBall has been saying for a very long time, over a year, maybe close to 2 years now. If they are not winning championships, at some point you got to break those two up. If they are not winning championships, OG said, yo, clock is ticking, y'all. If we're playing so well, we keep getting in Eastern Conference Finals. We keep making deep playoff runs. We're up 2-1 against the dynasty in the finals, right? Like, this is the position they was in. Y'all don't get it right? Yo, Brad, figure something out, because we got to switch some things up over here. And maybe that would infuse the confidence that all three of us want Tatum to play with. Can't nobody fuck with him if he really goes. Y'all know that. Can't nobody deal with him if he really, like, lock in. So
I'm gonna say this before we get to the next topic, and just think about this. Golden State trades Klay Thompson to Boston for Jaylen Brown.
What? Right now?
If Boston Celtics don't win a championship, I'm trading Jaylen Brown to the Golden State Warriors and give me back, let's say, Klay Thompson and maybe a pick, or maybe let's just say Klay and Wiggins or something like that. Yeah, I'm doing that. Because let me explain. If Jason Tatum is able to let loose, pause, Jason Tatum should be averaging 35. That's not going to happen with Jaylen Brown there, Flee. Like you said, I've been saying that, and people is going to understand. It doesn't, I'm not knocking Jaylen Brown. I'm not saying he's not great. But when you have, that's almost like Jordan and Kobe on the same team. How will both of them going to average 35? And I'm not comparing them to them. I'm just saying,
I got you.
Two guys of that magnitude play the same position.
I got you.
Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Some people at one time said Brown was better. I never thought he was, but we've heard that before.
I never thought he was better.
Right, but we've heard that before.
Yes.
At one point, I did.
I'm saying for one guy to flourish.
That's because of aggression.
Right. For one guy to flourish, I'm telling you, the other guy can't be there because once again, they both, I hate to use that the alpha and all that, but
yeah.
Listen, for Boston to win a championship, Jason Tatum got to be birdish, meaning this is my team. I'm the lead dog. I'm the man. I'm the one that's supposed to be averaging 30 plus, not 27, so you could get your 20-something. No, I'm sorry. And at this point, Boston, Jason Tatum, they got to learn how to be selfish. If not, you're going to keep making deep playoff runs and coming up short.
And JB got an ego too. Like Jaylen Brown, I don't know if y'all can peep. Well, I don't know if y'all. Of course everybody. Yeah. Stevie Wonder could see that. He has an ego. You know what I'm saying? There's something to him that says, man, if this was my team, right? And I'm putting words in the nigga mouth. I got it. But he just comes off as though, put me in a position to be the lead dog and see what I do. Like, that's the attitude that I get from him. But, he does understand. I think he does understand.
He does.
Right? Like, but I think he does understand that, like, I'm great. Like, at home. When he's at home and he's chilling, he understands he's great, but I hope he understands he ain't Tatum. Like, I hope he understands he's not Tatum.
Listen.
Great.
I hope as a Knicks fan they keep this up. Please, pause. Keep it going. You keep playing Ken Doll over there, Tatum, and you keep thinking you're the number one guy, Jaylen Brown. I love it. Please.
Before we get to the next topic, Boston don't win. Jaylen Brown goes to Golden State. Curry has a player that's young, that can play both ends of the floor, that can help them. Boston gets back a shooter and a guy that will play back fiddle to Tatum. Now Tatum can get all the shots he wants. You can't double team because Klay is a marksman. Listen, man, then maybe they can get another young player to come along with Klay or some draft picks. If I'm Boston, I'm thinking about that. I'm sorry. Because now Tatum could be let loose. Now he'd be running away with MVP. He'd be easily averaging 35. Still number 1, number 2 seed in the East. I'm telling you, figure it out.
That's something to think about. I got to sleep on that. I don't want to give a direct answer to that, but like, I think that's picture perfect for Boston. Like, that's picture perfect. Like, the biggest addition for Boston is Porzingis. I think we all agree with that. Like, the biggest, aside from Holiday, but the biggest addition and what he's been able to do, like, staying healthy. I'm so proud of this dude. You know what I mean? We drafted him, so I still got love for KP, but the fact that he's been able to stay relatively healthy, and when he's out there, he's 20-10 a night or 20-9 or, close to 20-10 a night. Like, he had a move last night where, like, I forget who the defender was. It was either Jared Allen or Evan Mobley. It was one of the bigs. And he caught the ball, and it was late in the game. They already made the comeback, and they trying to push him off the spot. He got the ball. They're trying to push him off the spot, body him. And, like, he uses his strength, turns around, puts and won. But a couple years ago, you could push Porzingis off his spot. You could bully him a little bit. That's a big move. So if they could keep that intact and go get a Klay Thompson, man, that's I don't know. My initial thought is like, that's a pipe dream. So let me not even. But we've seen wilder things happen in the NBA. So
I think that's horrible. And also shout out to AM Hoops again, even though that's a crackhead Kyle Lowry. Crackhead Kyle Korver is crazy.
Tyler Hero.
Tyler Hero. Crazy.
He does look like Tyler Hero, but he also broke down the money thing with that and why it's going to be tough for them to even re-sign Tatum the way that they did because of the Porzingis deal. Back to Flea's point from the beginning, no more super teams. So how is Boston going to keep that together, especially if you lose this year, you're going to pay for that? You're going to be level losers? I don't, speaking of losing or were losing, Milwaukee Bucks were the most disappointing team in the first half of the season, probably.
Yeah.
They've been turning it around, and they got the likes of Doc Rivers, Mr. 3-1 down the toilet himself. He's turning this ship around. But we got to start this off with AllBall. He's gonna possibly gloat a little bit because his guy, Dame Time, he's on the thumbnail.
Hey man, big game. I'm not gonna gloat too much, but like I said in the beginning of the season, this move was to win a championship. It wasn't to win the regular season. It was to get to the playoffs. And Dame Lillard, without Giannis there, big win the other night. I think it was against the Clippers, right? Yeah, and I watched that whole game. They was down, kept climbing back, kept clawing, and Dame had a big game. He had 40+. To be honest, I'm not really disappointed with the Milwaukee Bucks. When they fired the Coach Griffin, they had the second best team in the East, second best record. So Dame Lillard going to a new team, as everybody would say, that's not easy. You gotta, acclimate, get used to it, and things like that. Then Dame has personal things going on in his life. I'm not making an excuse of justifying his bad percentages, but he's still averaging 25+. So I don't see what's going on. My thing with Milwaukee is everybody else. Where's Brook Lopez at with the great defense, the offense? Remember, Bobby Portis slowed down. Chris Middleton, it seems like he's always hurt. So for me, I think Milwaukee's going to be fine. They just got to be healthy. I don't think this is, to me, Doc Rivers is just there just to be on the sideline. I don't care who coaches them. It's up to Giannis and Dame Lillard. And I think they have enough cachet and enough they have enough time in the league that, I'm being honest, they ain't even got to listen to Doc Rivers. I know I wouldn't. But I still think in the East, nobody wants to see Milwaukee. I'm sorry, not with Giannis and Dame. And in the playoffs, we're going to see why Milwaukee traded for Dame Lillard. Of course, it don't look as great now because, Boston with Drew Holiday, how they looking, but those are two totally different teams. Boston is stacked. Like I said, if Chris Middleton and Flea been harping on this forever, Milwaukee may go as far as Chris Middleton takes them. He's the X factor. But I know what Dame Lillard is capable of. We've seen it time and time, year after year in Portland. It never had help like Giannis. So now in the playoffs, you can't double team Giannis. So now you got to play him and Lillard up straight up. Pick your poison. So for me, I'm not worried about Milwaukee at all. If they healthy, I'm not worried about them. They're going to be all right. If my Knicks, I'm scared of Milwaukee more than I'm scared of Boston because Giannis is aggressive. Dame Lillard is aggressive. See, Giannis will go for a 50 clip on you, flex on you, talk his mess. Tatum and them ain't doing that. The boys over there. So I think, Dame Lillard now is getting used to being in Milwaukee. Like I said, hopefully, things that he got going on off the court starting to simmer down because he has some real problems, some real troubles in his personal life. So now I wouldn't want to see Milwaukee in no round. With Embiid hurt and with our Knicks just right now just basically dismantled because everybody's hurt, who's a threat to Milwaukee in the East besides the Boston Celtics? So for me, I think they right on course, and I'm gonna leave it at this. This move once again was to win a championship and for the playoffs. It wasn't for the regular season. I think they don't care one bit what seed they are. And then now that Knicks is hurt, Embiid is out, they know we worst case scenario, 3rd seed. Nah, they good. And Dame Lillard, I'm telling y'all, you gonna see the playoffs, and you gonna say, okay, I get it now. Simple and plain.
I think role players adapt and get an opportunity to adapt a little more seamless than when superstars leave and go somewhere else, right? So when Dame walked in the door as a Milwaukee Buck, the expectation was for them to just be running over people, right? And to be honest, when Adrian Griffin got fired, they were 33-12. So they were 21 games over 500, right? They were winning games at a high clip, but you could just look at the team and tell they're still developing chemistry. Middleton is in and out of the lineup. Who is the third guy that they're going to rely on? How do I bolster this defense? Because we can't stop a nosebleed, right? What are we going to do about playing defense? Because they were bad defensively, but they weren't god-awful to the point where they couldn't win games. And I think that there was a slight overreaction on if Milwaukee was a good team. You have a Giannis Antetokounmpo on the team and a Damian Lillard on the team, and you filled out the roster to complement those guys. So I think, the majority was jumping the gun on how good the team could be, right? Good teams, most good teams, start peaking at a certain point. Everybody's not 73-9 Golden State Warriors. Everybody is not 72-10 Chicago Bulls. We watched that Boston team in 2022 struggle all the way up until January. Marcus Smart gets into the media, starts running his mouth, and then they completely are a different team, right? Doc has come in. They struggled early, but now they've run off like 6 in a row, 7 in a row. They look completely different defensively. I absolutely despise this dude, but I would be lying if I said I don't love him as a basketball player. And Pat Beverly makes a difference. He's made a difference in that locker room and on that floor. You call it what you want, but he has played well. If he played like shit, I would say he played like shit. It would be a joy for me to say that he played like crap. But this dude has helped bring a different defensive identity to that ball club. He just has. We could slice
but why do you despise him?
Same reasons that I don't like Draymond Green. I just, these guys are role players who feel as though they're superstars. When they look in the mirror, they see superstars, but when I'm watching them, I see role players. And so that's a personal thing. I love basketball, so I'm not going to say Draymond Green's not a great basketball player, and neither is Pat Beverly. They're good. They're great basketball players. I just think they're a little full of themselves, and what you bring to a team, you need to focus on that. Don't talk to me about, I hate when you talk like, don't talk to me like you Steph, and don't talk to me like you Giannis. You have a role in what you do. Stay there and be there. So that's just a personal thing. But, what he's doing for Milwaukee is amazing. Is amazing. They are completely different on how they approach the game. Just when they step on the floor. A lot of times I felt like they were stepping on the floor with Giannis and Dame, and it's like, be scared of the fact that we just here. Nah, you got to play. This is the NBA. You got to play. And Pat Bev is going to infuse that. I've been watching a lot. Jay Crowder has woke up.
Yep.
He's finally figured out, okay, I feel like playing basketball again. He's woke up. I expect a lot more from Pat Connaughton. Over the last few years, he's been better. He hasn't been very good this year. So there's small things, small tweaks about that team that if they get it right, we could very well be talking about them like we talk about Boston, OG. Very well be talking about them the same exact way.
Agree.
If they found ways to get stops, Jesus. So yeah, I think they're right on time. They peaking at the right time. Giannis not playing the other night gave Dame an opportunity to remind us, if the ball is in my hand, majority of the game, I could bring y'all home. There's games that I could bring y'all home. And I'll leave it at this. That's a great point by OG. The Dame thing is an opportunity, for Giannis to pump the brakes a little bit during the regular season, allow another guy to lead his team, right? But we all know that trade was done for April, May, and June. Like you said, like it's for playoffs. We need you for playoff time. So we'll see what happens with them in the playoffs. What you think, Fabian?
For them to pull out that victory against the Clippers was big time. They have a lot of momentum. You know how I feel about Giannis. I think he's become overrated as a defender. That Defensive Player of the Year trophy, I'm looking at it real shaky because of him primarily. Brook Lopez being nominated damn near. Triple J, Marcus Smart, but he's a part of this list where I'm like, I've never really been impressed by you, and I was always almost scared to say you suck on defense because you're that great of a talent and a presence. But I hate him on defense. But the one thing that everybody has, I don't know if they've been watching, me and Flea, when we spoke on the phone and we saw him one time, just look how he is in that paint, in that restricted area. He just moves like with skills. It's a thing, Two's gonna be like, are you serious? But he wasn't traveling. Like from coast to coast, he'll travel still. He'll take advantage of those rules. But in the paint, he learned from Hakeem. And it is a thing of beauty. So if Dame, just to see him come around, man, remember, he's been reported on his personal issues and stuff like that. And again, unfortunately, when you're a public figure, it happens. He's been, I think, kind of public about it. Selfishly, we want to see you do good as an NBA fan. So this is ill to see. Of course, I'm a Knicks fan, so I'd rather him just be, throw the Dame time clock in the garbage again. But it's tough because it just Bobby Porter's being there along with Patrick Beverly.
I forgot about Bobby. Jesus.
Yeah. He's been playing well too. And I gotta really watch another game. I only seen one. I think I called the end of the Clippers game. But for them to win like that, that's serious. Again, it is more. I think it's a lot to do with momentum. Defensively, I can't imagine that Patrick Beverly made up for all that happened in the first half of the season. I just can't imagine that. And it feels like, with the stats, it feels like there's a new leader in net ratings every month. So every season. So I don't think we could go by that. But
you could just go by, you can go by, since he's been there, just straight up plus minus. Are they better with him defensively on the floor? Or are they not? Like that's for him, like his type of player. That's easy to, kind of decipher if he's making a difference. It's harder for the other guys that, you're not expecting to sit in the chair and play defense, right? Like that Bucks team, well, I feel like they're gonna miss Holiday because they're gonna have to get stops against some better guards, right? But right. Dame is competent. He's not a cone. He's competent, but he's not a guy that takes the defensive end as serious as he takes the offensive end. So, Drew is the opposite. He wants to get a stop, but yeah, don't leave him open. He'll hit an open shot. So I don't know. Who you got coming out the East today, OG?
Boston.
Today.
Oh, right now.
Season ends today.
Boston. Only because our Knicks is literally the whole starting five is hurt. Mm-hmm. So, because of that, I'm gonna say, I love Dame over there, man, but I'm being honest, Boston is too much talent for them to not go to the NBA Finals. So as much as I love Milwaukee, like I said, I don't see the same Brook Lopez. I don't see the same Portis. I don't see the same Chris Middleton. While you look on the other side of with Boston, all them guys are still young and they still playing at an elite level. And they added Drew Holiday and Porzingis. And then the step that Derek White took on both ends of the floor, who doesn't get spoken about enough. That kid is elite as far as when it comes to defense. Like, and he's a valuable player on offense. So I think they have it all. They have it all.
How Derek White get Marcus Smart the fuck out of there? Got him out of there. They took one look at Derek White and was like,
And let's not forget, they still got the old man that still can knock down threes and still play decent defensive spots in Al Horford. So it's no excuse. They have the young, they have the old, they have the star, they have the superstar, they have the defense, they have the shooting, they have everything. There's no excuse. So, as much as I want to say Milwaukee, I got to be honest. Boston Celtics right now, too much talent over there.
Season ends today, Fabian. Who you got coming out the East, bro?
Oh, today is Boston.
Okay.
Today is Boston for everything. Because come on, 4 out of our 5 starters gone.
And DiVincenzo was limping around every chance he gets too. I'm
glad you brought up Derek White, because who is the X factor on the Bucks to X out even a Tatum in the last play of the game, like we talked about, or during the game, but primarily crunch time. They got Drew Holiday over there on the Celtics for a reason. They got him over there because they knew he's gonna be upset with that Bucks locker room, number one. So in case we all expected them to be great, but he's the counter to Dame Lillard. At least we would think that's the video game comic book, power versus power, offense versus defense. And then you can sneak in if you got a counter for them. All right, Tatum, he hasn't been doing anything. Do we need to see a little bit of Derek White crunch time for the Celtics? Does he have that ability? Because if he does, that might be the scariest low-key special weapon around the league that nobody's really talking about, because he's still flying under the radar.
Yep.
Derek White is going to defend the best player on the opposing team, and he's going to hit open shots. Like, I never see that kid not play hard.
Yeah.
Every time I see that dude out there, he's going not 100 miles an hour, meaning out of control. He's just playing hard the entire game, defending on the other end, moving without the basketball, screening, back screening, cutting, trying to offensive rebound, crashing the balls in the defensive end. Like, I never see him just standing around looking or sitting in the corner waiting. Like, he's active. So, shout out to OG for bringing up Derek White. That's a great call.
Well, before we get to the last topic, I just want to say Pat Bev can have the same effect on Milwaukee how PJ Tucker had. So we kind of got to, think about it. He's going to bring a whole different mindset to that team. He going to stay on them. He going to talk to him. He going to give him that confidence, that fight, that dog, that, that they may be missing. Of course, he's not as good as Drew Holiday, but he's going to bring that intensity. He ain't going to let nobody slack up. So maybe, Milwaukee, they needed that, and it's starting to show.
We had what the last topic would be, OKC, Minnesota.
Yeah, I mean, we I gotta go, but we could. I mean, I kind of want to discuss that real quick. We ain't got to take too long. I just want to say, SGA, Ant-Man, great players. Like I said, probably going to be the face of the league maybe in a couple years. Because like I said, if LeBron, KD, Curry, Giannis, Joker, and B still playing for another 2 years, I don't see how those guys is going to be the face of the league.
Right.
But are they the real deal? Because a lot of people jumping out the window. And of course they got great records. They either 1, 2, or 3 seed, playing great basketball. But OKC played the Lakers the other day. People try to make an excuse. Oh, back-to-back. No, them dudes is young. I don't want to hear that. Listen, man, when you got to play against guys that's vets, that been there before, that playoffs is a different beast. Now I get to play you 7. I get the game plan just for you.
2 weeks.
Right. And, one thing, I'm going to give a shout out to Floyd Mayweather, because he said something when he fought Canelo. It's different when you're a superstar. When you walk in that ring, listen, man, everything plays a factor. So with OKC in Minnesota, imagine when y'all got to play the Lakers in the first round. That atmosphere is different. That pressure is different. Now you're looking across, you see LeBron and AD, their mentalities is different. The refs ain't calling what they used to call. It's a little rougher. It's a little tougher. Things a little tight. Now people is playing real defense. Now it's a half-court game. It ain't more so you just get to do what you want. So for me, I don't know if they're ready to take that leap, especially when, OKC don't have no vets. Minnesota, who's their vets? Maybe Cat and Gobert. I don't think those dudes So for me, you know, this is why Iguodala was so important to the Golden State Warriors for times like this. So I think that's what Minnesota and OKC is missing. Somebody like that can still contribute, but can, you know, help you understand, bro, this is playoff basketball. The refs ain't going to call this. Don't look for that. You see that guy there. This. They don't have that. So I don't know if they're ready to take that leap yet. And I'm not ready to say they'll beat the Kings, who people are forgetting about, Lakers, Clippers, Denver. I'm being honest. I don't know if Minnesota or OKC want to see Golden State in the first round.
I was hoping you would say that.
You know, so like I said, it's been done now. I'm not saying it can't be done. Golden State Warriors with Baron Davis in them. Denver Nuggets, the Dikembe Mutombo them against, you know, Seattle. I'm not saying it can't be done, but listen, you're going to need a hell of a game, hell of a series from the top dogs, SGA or Ant-Man. So are they the real deal? To be honest, this may be a little harsh. It might be fool's gold because, like I said, in the regular season, the teams that's, you know, playing for championships, they just want to get in. LeBron, Kawhi, Kate, you telling me if OKC or Minnesota plays Phoenix, LA, Clippers, Lakers, Golden State, Sacramento, Denver, any of y'all taking OKC and Minnesota?
Y'all know I'm super high on Anthony Edwards. I've been talking about that kid for a long time. Y'all know I love that kid's game, how he approaches the game. Love Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and what they've done, right? But you gotta go through some shit. Like, you gotta go through some stuff. This is the NBA, man. And I've never seen, there's never been a team that hasn't gone through some stuff before they got to wherever they trying to get. And if OKC and Minnesota are striving for, you know, playing in championship level basketball, they're going to have to go through some stuff. We haven't seen Shai Gilgeous-Alexander on the big stage yet playing in meaningful playoff games. Meaningful playoff games is different than just making the playoffs, right? Like, we haven't seen him. OKC struggles with turning that ball over. I watched them the other night against the Lakers. They turned the rock over. And it wasn't just like, you know, the Lakers were playing outstanding defense, forcing turnovers. That team was just throwing the ball away, careless, like not having a sense of urgency to get the tail end of a back-to-back. You want to get both games, right? You want to get both games, especially if you're playing the Lakers at home. Mind you, they haven't beat the Lakers at all this year, not one time. They've played them 3 times, I believe. They haven't got one win against the Lakers. That's something to think about, right? Minnesota, they struggle with finishing games. That goes to what Fabian's point is about Anthony Edwards, not being a guy that you could give the ball to yet. 2 minutes left in the game, go bring me home. Like, he's not that guy yet. He's a hell of a player, budding superstar, all-star, all of that. Great. Everything he does is great. His approach, everything. But again, guys got to go through some stuff. Nobody skips steps in the NBA. Guys in the comments, your favorite players. My brothers on the screen, y'all favorite players. Nobody skipped steps. Everybody went through some kind of adversity or just experience. Forget the adversity. Just experiencing what it's like to play when the lights is bright and the stage is big. So OKC and Minnesota, I think, are real. I wouldn't say fool's gold like OG. I think they have the potential to be real. But not this year. Not this year. There's going to be some teams that the team that comes out the Western Conference, whoever it may be, if it's not Denver, will be a team that we looked at during this season and was like, ew, what's up with them? They struggling. What's going on? You know what I'm saying? Phoenix finds their way out the West. Everybody's been saying, like, yo, I saw somebody say Phoenix is a bad team. Not struggling, not trying to figure it out. They flat out said they're a bad team. So that's what I'm saying. Those teams, you know, that are comprised of the guys that have been here before, been around the block, know what it feels like when every game matters. This is not game 52 out of 82, and we got another 30 games left. Now, every game matters. Game 1 until you win 4 out of 7, it matters. So I don't think they fool's gold, but I don't think they're ready this year.
I think I agree. And a part of the skipping steps thing, it feels like I remember when Kobe and when LeBron and Carmelo and them guys, they looked up to Kobe, and a lot of them guys in the 90s would look up to Jordan. I'm too young for how they viewed Magic. And Magic, we were talking about it offline. His career got cut short, obviously. But this is the first time in a long time I remember the guys kind of being afraid of LeBron. OKC to me is they scared of LeBron. I don't know what he figured out from them that they feel like they can't do. I mean, AD is AD, and he's a monster against them, and it feels like LeBron knows it. Like he's like a cheat code against OKC specifically. But then you see it with the Pelicans. I've seen the Pelicans, and I'm going to harp on this for the rest of the season. I don't believe in them at all. I don't have any belief in them at all. Zion, none of them, because I saw AD in the first quarter, 3 fouls in the first quarter. They did nothing about it. Like they didn't go and try to get another foul on them. That was and Darvin Ham left them in the game. That's how much they didn't believe in the Pelicans. And the Lakers, for them to beat OKC, it shows, it says a lot. Because to your point, also to be scared of LeBron means you're still scared of the moment, because he, at the end of the day, is the moment. He is the personification. He's the walking billboard. He's the walking. What Floyd said was like, you walk in, it's different when you walk in, you see them lights. That's when it really is like, okay, now what? So they all talk like that. And what Mike Tyson said, they all have a plan until they get hit. And it's the same thing with OKC. Mm-hmm. Yeah, OKC's missing the big guy down low. I think that's just bottom line. I don't know who could really, do that, pick that for them, or who they could pick up to fulfill that. The way Wemby punked Chet, by the way, I really like Wemby.
Love
the way he takes it like he's
dead wrong. OG, you were dead wrong.
I already made the apology video.
I know, bro. I know.
But there's nothing Chet could do about it, I don't think, because he's tough and he's 7'4", and Chet has been trying, but Chet also looks kind of scared. I'm not gonna lie. He looks like he doesn't know what to do with Wemby, and he's supposed to be like the answer for the next. He's like, I'm gonna see this guy for 10 years.
Hey, so Fabian, Chet can't do nothing with nobody. I watch people throw him around like a leaf, man.
Yeah, that's it. That's it right there. That AD sees him on the opposing side. Oh, yeah. It's up. It's up. Every time I see Anthony Davis go at this kid this year, he is like going at this kid. I had one last thought on OKC and Minnesota. Big difference between Minnesota and OKC. There's a guy in the locker room in Minnesota. There's a guy that's handling the ball for Minnesota that has played in a bunch of high pressure playoff games, right? And whether they look to him as the leader or not, just being on the floor, like Mike Conley being a grown up in that locker room, I put a little more faith in that Minnesota team than I do OKC. I think as these teams go through trials and tribulations, they are going to become places that certain vets are going to want to go. OKC, if they make a decent run in the playoffs, somebody that's a free agent, just someone might look over there and say, hey, I can help them, like an Iguodala did, right? Like a Sean Livingston did. We talking about Golden State, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? And same thing for Minnesota. They don't need no more young guys. Anthony Edwards, McDaniels, Cat is still fairly young. Gobert is still fairly young. Like, that core is young and hungry. But the pieces that they put around them, like a Mike Conley to say, yo, grit and grind. He was the head of that grit and grind, right? Zebo, Marc Gasol, like Rudy, like that team, no championships, I get it. San Antonio feared them. The Clippers feared them. Oklahoma City feared them. Every top team in the Western Conference feared that Memphis Grizzlies team when they were at the height of their powers. Mike Conley was the point guard. Not the same guy anymore, but I think he can add something to Minnesota when it comes time for the playoffs.
Yeah, I heard Bill Simmons talking about Conley. They thought he was kind of washed up, but I don't think you could wash the veteran leadership. And then we like Monte Morris going over there too. Hopefully he stays healthy for them or for their sake, because we wishing I don't say the worst for y'all, but we have enough health problems over here in New York with the Knicks. Fabian perspective, so accepting. This was the 4 Sportsmen -1.
Big shout out to Dom. Big shout out Dom dropping. Big shout out to Mike Conley's agent.
He don't never miss a payday.
Word, that was that was one of those big paydays.
Hold on, and then they just
he just upped it
for 2. Big shout out Mike Conley agent.
Yo, Faye. I remember a few years back, whenever that was, when Conley got that big deal from the Grizzlies, something like 100, 130, something like that, right?
140,
150, something like that, right? I remember being in Memphis at that time, visiting one of my closest friends in Memphis, and we was driving somewhere, and he was like, "Yeah, that's Conley's estate." And I'm looking, I'm like, "Damn, okay,
crazy.
Yeah, that's money. That's money."
Here's an even bigger shout out. Mike Conley's agent is Mike Conley Sr., his dad.
Yes, sir.
Legendary.
And
all in the family.
One of the best. Mike Conley Sr. ran track. Was a great track runner. He was in that dunk contest with Deion Sanders, Michael Irvin, Barry Bonds. Y'all remember that?
Yeah.
Y'all remember
Chris Carter and all of
Chris Carter and all of yeah. You remember that?
Yeah. Nasty.
Wide world of sports.
Yes,
Fabian perspective is so accepted. That's all ball. That's Flea. All we live. Hold on a second. We don't even play any games with y'all, man. We ain't playing any games with y'all.
Take us home.
AllBall TV. You already know the motto. They scared, but I'm not. Yeah, baby.
Have a great night.
Yes, sir.